Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit exotic. I'm going to show you, well, I'm going to have a go at making sushi. But before we do that, I need to do a shout out to my new Patreon superfan, Nancy Messier. Yay! Thank you. And also a shout, well, I thought this had been requested at some point, but I've just checked through my database, and well, I can't find it. And I've looked at the B list, and I've actually looked in all the stuff that I deleted when I did the cull, and I can't find it, so maybe I just imagined that. Anyway, never in my wildest dreams would I have contemplated making sushi, because in my head it's raw fish, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to go there. However, turns out it doesn't have to be raw fish. It can be smoked salmon, or, you know, cooked prawns, tuna from a can, yes, and even the Japanese do that apparently. So yeah, cool. But I still wouldn't have done it, except a couple of weeks ago, Mrs. KeefCooks came home with this. It's a sushi making kit that lets you do large square ones, small square ones, and heart-shaped ones. And yeah, it's just a load of plastic things. And I thought, how hard can it be? Anyway, enough waffling, let's get on with it. So first thing to do is prepare your rice. You're going to need 250 grams of sushi rice, and you need to wash it 3 or 4 times in cold water until the water goes clear. I would do this in the sink, but the sink is a mess. Okay, it's nearly clear. And 3 or 4 times? You're kidding, that was about 6. That will do, I reckon. Now we need to cook it. So you want to put your rice into a pan, add 330 ml of cold water. So that's about 1.5 times as much water as rice, which is, you know, pretty normal for any kind of rice. And then pop it on the stove and bring it to the boil, then cover it with a lid and let it simmer for 10 minutes. So the rice has had its 10-minute simmer, and I'm leaving it to cool down with the lid on for 15 to 20 minutes. And while that's cooling down, you want to make a dressing for the rice. So I've got 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, 1 tablespoon of mirin, which is a sweet rice wine, 2 teaspoons of caster sugar, powdered sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And just stir that together to get everything dissolved. Now you want to mix the seasoning with the rice. It smells vinegary. And stick that in the fridge to cool down completely. Meanwhile, I'll get on with the fillings. Right, let's make the first filling. Not yet, but a bit later on. You will need some seaweed, nori seaweed, which is surprisingly easy to get in the UK these days from your local supermarket. And that's just very thin, kind of matted. It's like, you know, they've shredded it and compressed it and stuff. Anyway, so the first filling is going to be like a tuna mayonnaise with a bit of wasabi paste in it and cucumber. So let's get this tuna can open. And drain off any liquid that's in there. This was in brine. It seems that you know, pretty much anything goes with sushi fillings, as long as, well, you know, they tend to be seafoody, although I have seen bacon wrapped ones, which sound terrific. And you know, a bit of heat is acceptable. and also something crunchy and green is usually included. So a load of mayo. I probably won't use all of this mixture in the sushi. It'll probably end up in sandwiches. Best mayonnaise ever, made by me. And mush that together. And then we'll add a bit of the lethal wasabi paste. Okay, a little taste. Oh, that's okay. Bit more. Pinch of salt. Now, I know that double dipping offends a few people, so we'll use a finger instead. Oh yeah. Right, and taste the horseradish now. Wasabi paste. It's actually, you know, the heat is horseradish. So a bit more. And that should do it. I need to chop the cucumber into wee sticks. Okay, next one is smoked salmon and ginger paste and spring onion. Although I think, you know, the ginger paste and the spring onion might be a bit overpowering. Then again, it might be not, because smoked salmon is, you know, it's much more intensely flavoured than regular salmon. So we'll just roll these up. And finally, prawns with soured cream. So just mixy. Actually, I think some dill pickle in there might be fun. Then again, maybe not. And that's going to go with avocado. These were supposed to be ripe, but they're not very. I'm sure there's a massively easy way to do this, but I don't know what it is. I'm just going to squirt this with some lemon juice because, well, I think that will work. Because I don't get avocado, it just doesn't taste of anything. Right, I shall now attempt to make sushi. So I'm going to have a go at the traditional way first before I use the plastic thing. So I've got this flexible bamboo mat, which is actually an old placemat. You can get sushi rolling mats quite easily on the interwebs, I expect. So we take a sheet of nori, seaweed, I'm quite nervous. Now we take some rice, which is set like concrete. I think doing it by hand might be the thing. And you just want to spread a thin layer across that, but stop short about a centimetre, about ½ an inch from each end. Yeah, they weren't kidding when they said it was sticky rice. Well, that's quite big. Right, what shall I put in it? I think the cucumber and tuna mayo, because I can bulk it up with cucumber. Okay. Good row of the tuna mayo. And now let's have a go at rolling it. So I'm trying to get the seaweed to meet itself down here without getting any filling in the way. Probably isn't going to work, but we can but try. Yeah, because I've overfilled it now. Right, that's none too shabby really, I think. I'll just wipe that. So I'll just wrap that in a bit more film and stick it in the fridge to chill. It's actually quite enormous for a bit of sushi, but anyway. It does taste good. I know this. Right, these are all the bits that were in that box. Fortunately, instructions in good English. So each of these pieces has a letter, A to F. So this is for the big square one, and it's enormous. And this is for the little square one, and it's tiny. You know, you're supposed to put your seaweed in there and then your rice and then your filling. You could maybe make a sandwich type thing. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, and these are the heart-shaped ones, which, well, I don't know. With looking at the size of this and how much rice I've got, that might be all I'm able to do. So place A on a flat surface and line the inside with a sheet of seaweed. And do that. Half filled with rice. So, well, I've 1/3 filled it because really I am going to run out of rice. And then it says make a groove in it with a spatula, which I'm not going to do, but I'm going to pop a smoked salmon sausage in there and then fill over it with more rice. Right, that's it, that's all the rice. So no time to cook anymore, so we'll just have to go with this. And so I've only just managed to cover the salmon, and now I find that my seaweed sheet is not long enough, so I've cut the strip off another one. I'll just pop that on top and then fold over the original strip. I think when we serve it we'll turn that upside down so the seams are on the bottom. Okay, and then the seriously clever bit is you can use that piece to push the roll up a bit, and then you have these guidelines to cut through. And this would work better if all the seaweed was stuck together properly, which it isn't. Never mind. Yeah, right, it's the next day. And I think I can say without fear of contradiction that things didn't go quite the way I wanted them to yesterday. But we ended up with 2 massive sushi rolls, and they were pretty tasty. So, you know, they're gone. But you haven't seen what I did, so I've got to do it again. So I've cooked up some more rice, and I've chopped up the other avocado, and I've got a salmon rolled around spring onions, and there are 3 sheets, well, 2 3/4 sheets of nori seaweed left. So it's going to be a case of less is more, and I'm going to ration the rice, so only 1/3 of it in each roll. Right, got my sheet of nori, need some rice. You know, I think I could probably mould that into a brick and then just slice it. Might be easier. Okay, there's my rice. I'll just spread out some avocado on it. Unwrap our tube of smoked salmon. Alright, now the tricksy bit is rolling it. Oh, come on. Alright, hey, that's not bad. And then roll it back up in the cling film, stick it in the fridge. So this is the 3rd and final one, which is the tuna mayonnaise, which is pretty bland. So I'm going to put some slivers of dill pickle in with it. And also, they've all ended up having avocado in them because, you know, these things don't last any time at all, and don't want to waste it. Whereas the cucumber will keep. Yeah, and I think this is probably a mistake, this filling, because it's just pale and uninteresting. And really, you know, sushi, I think it's about colour and textures as much as anything. So you know, it's nice to have colourful things running through it. But anyway, I'll know next time. I suspect I'll be making sushi more often now because Mrs. KeefCooks was well impressed. Trick is not to wrap your cling film inside your sushi roll. But yeah, apart from that, it's pretty easy. Right, wrap him up and chill him. So I wasn't actually intending to promote the sushi making kit because, well, I wasn't massively impressed, but Mrs. KeefCooks picked this up from a charity shop for about twopence. However, looking on Amazon, there's a lot of things like this, and if your seaweed sheet is the right size and you've got enough filling and rice, it can make things a lot easier. So I'll put a link in description below, and if you buy one from that link, I get twopence. And pop it in there and slice away. And I was going to say it's easier if you keep the cling film on, and then I completely forgot to do so. But let's see what I've got. Well, I think that's pretty decent effort for a first time, well, second time. Right, here we are. Finally, we have sushi and taste test time, and Mrs. KeefCooks-san.
Hello, darling.
Hello, Peckle.
Oh.
Alright.
Yeah, a bit tired, but oh, isn't that gorgeous?
Uh-huh. Seaweed.
And it is gorgeous as well.
That's that people.
Have you told them?
What? This took 3 days.
No, it didn't.
Alright.
No, there was the first batch, and they weren't pretty enough. But I had.
Oh yeah, I told them about that.
I had some in the evening, yeah. But the next day, because I took them for lunch, they were gorgeous. The seaweed's got a wonderful flavour. And then today, I had some of this batch that Keith had made last night. And again, this makes a fantastic lunch. I've only ever seen sushi in those little dinky, like, cocktaily bits.
I know, and they're rubbish.
Nibbles.
They're like, what's the point?
Oh, I don't mind those. They're nice.
Yeah, anyway.
No, I like them. But,
But we didn't get to do the taste test because she was working late and we went to the chippy.
except I've already had some of these for lunch and they're wonderful and I'm really looking forward to
I'm
it.
having this one because it's the best looking one.
Okay.
You can have one.
I know. I'm not even going to try with the chopsticks.
Yeah, that was a joke.
And I'm not bothered about the soy sauce either. I think this is lovely. So, that's it. Throw it on the floor. What do you like?
I'm a messy eater.
Make this at home. Honestly. You've got no idea.
Of course I have. They're my loyal fans. Yeah, actually pretty easy and really tasty. Yeah.
And if they're not pretty, well, you just have to eat those up so you don't waste anything. And then make some more. No, these are absolutely delicious. This thing about things tasting better the next day, I often find this, because Keith, I mean, there's only 2 of us, so quite often he makes big portions of things, and the number of times that you find that the flavour develops the next day is just ooh. And I want to bang on about this because if you've seen the video for the Glamorgan sausages, those, I mean, they were delicious the day he made them, and the next day they were actually better because the crispy outside had gone to sort of like firm, and the inside was, oh, it was moist and tender, and the flavours were there, and I think that's been my favourite thing to date. Of all the things you cooked, I think it was my favourite thing because you could have it sort of, it was kind of comfort food at the end of the day, and it was really nice, really good picnic food for lunch next day. But I think this is my new favourite.
Yeah, well, we'll have to develop a long sushi machine. Oh, we've got one. Anyway. Right, that's it. So if you liked it, give it a like, share, subscribe, give us money, we like that, and all that nonsense. And thanks for watching.
Treat yourself. Make these. I would, but he makes them himself.
Thank you for watching,
Oh yeah.
and see you next time.
Bye.
Hey.
Oh, gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.